Yeah. All right. Nice. I think we are live. Very cool. Hey guys, good to see you. Good to see you. I'm just going to make some little comfort adjustments real quick. I've got a desk full of drinks. I've got two waters and a half of a coffee. I know you're not supposed to eat on stream, but we're going to be doing a little bit of drinking on stream today. Not alcoholic beverages. um, so last night I was in an AD&D game. I was running an AD&D game, and the world that I've been running in is it's been, let's see, over 3 years. 3 years and 1 month. It started in October of 2022, and we've been gaming pretty hard in there on and off. And the last time we got to have an AD&D session was in September, and so we've had a couple of months off, and I've just been missing the game. I have been goofing off with other systems. Playing some uh, I've been playing some Shadowdark with the guys. We've been playing Mothership RPG, a few things, Call of Cthulhu, lots of Call of Cthulhu, but nothing speaks to me the same way that Advanced Dungeons and Dragons does. And so the channel members, the guys who follow me on YouTube, and they join the channel, and they basically just are being really generous. And so in response, I said, I'll open up a game for you guys. And I recently was like trying to push people into AD&D. Some people picked up the books. They've been reading these for a few weeks, trying to get an idea of what to do. But I told them, I was like, look, let's just pull the trigger. Let's just run a game. I'll show you what I know. I've played this enough, but there's still like a million things to learn. And um, it has been an absolute blast trying to show these guys this system. They had a blast making the characters, coming up with ideas for how to introduce them into a world that's very well established. And last night for me, early morning for them. These guys are so dedicated. We had players from all over the world. So of course, we had me and another one of my buddies, real life buddies, in China. Then we had somebody from America. We had Belgium. Somewhere in Europe, he wanted to keep his location a secret. And then, so one Belgium guy, another person somewhere in Europe, maybe French. I don't know. And then I thought his accent was German, but he said, no, it's not German. I'm like, huh. And then we had some Australian guys. So like it is absolutely packed. Oh, I don't want to blow out your guys' eardrums. Let me turn down the mic volume just a little bit. Yeah, that should be better. I'll make sure to keep my voice up so it's not like, yeah, so it's not like blowing out your eardrums. Yeah, and so I made up this dungeon. Excuse me. And I ran them through last night. It was so much fun. Hello. Hey. Good morning. Yeah, it's morning over here. Um, and so I was running them through this dungeon, and they were having so much fun. We had 6 players in total. Hey, mom. How are you? Hi. Um, and we were we were running this dungeon. I just kind of threw it together. I randomly generated some things, and other details I just chose to put in, and they got through just a tiny fraction of the dungeon that I made. And the parts that they explored, the things that I just made up, they really hooked into. The parts that were randomly generated, I think they were curious about. They were a little nervous about, because they know that like this game can be very lethal. A lot of these dudes are coming from 5th edition or Pathfinder, and so they have all of this myth that's built around original Dungeons and Dragons about how it's so incredibly scary. And I have this incredible anecdote. It was so fun. Um, so the fighter, I didn't know this, but we rolled him up and he only had 1 hit point. And that's terrible news for any fighter. But he didn't let that discourage him. This is Jack McCarthy is running this fighter. And hang on a sec. And Jack is a complete hero about taking only 1 HP. He doesn't say anything because I didn't notice, and he didn't make a big deal about it. But I was like, so who wants to be in the front line of combat? Who's going to protect the group? And Jack's like, oh, me. I'm going to do it. and and then later in the session, he charges into this group of little blue monsters. And when you do that, when you charge in this version of the game, you sacrifice your any bonuses you have to your AC, basically. So you become you kind of like open yourself up to it for attack, but you get a bonus to your attack. So you're charging in, you're being a little reckless, but it can pay off for you. And and so he does that, and so he lowers his own AC. He has 1 hit point. He jumps into a group of 10 little blue dudes and just starts like cleaving them down. And I had like, there was a dozen of the little blue men originally. I'm not saying what they are because I don't want the players to find out what they are, but they, he charges in, he cuts down a couple of them. There's 10 of them left. And I roll randomly because there's 3 targets that these guys can choose from to hit, to retaliate against. And I roll for Jack and I'm like, oh, only 1 guy's going for Jack. No big deal. Oh, 7 guys are going for this other dude, Ray, who was in our game. He's one of the Bro SR guys. And then Vic, who joined our game, he only had 2 guys against him. And so I was like, oh, okay, so Jack, you got 1 attack roll. Oh, that's probably a hit. Yeah, you do 2 damage. And he's like, I'm down. I was like, no, Jack. I was like, you only have 1 hit point? So the moral of the story is don't let your character sheet dictate how you play. Enjoy the game. Have fun with it regardless, because Jack really showed everybody at the table how to have a good time. I think it went over really well. After the session was over, people were chatting like, oh, man, that was so fun. That was so fun. I want to play again. And so my hope is that we can get a consistent group going on Discord, the international group. And then my local guys, I was messaging them this morning, and I was telling them they need to just get into the Discord. We're not gonna play on Discord because locally we have a better system. We have a Chinese system called WeChat that we can use, but they should still log into Discord, talk about the sessions they're having, talk about their downtime and stuff, and that way it'll get the hype going. So, yeah, I think that there's quite a lag on the live play. It's way behind where I am saying. That's really strange, but um, yeah, that is weird. Oh, okay, I see. It kind of the internet just needed to catch up. Hey, what's up, Gaijin Special? What's up, man? We're just talking. Hey, Mike, what's up, man? We're just talking AD&D and the amazing session that I had last night, this morning for the American players. But man, it was so fun. And what I'm hoping is that the channel members and like the online guys who want to play, they'll bring in, hey, Mr. Delver, hello. They will bring in a surge of new blood into the campaign, because we've been playing for 3 years in this world, and I've with dozens of players. People come in, they try AD&D, they stick around for a couple months. Sometimes they drop out. It's just like the natural ebb and flow. A few of the guys have stuck, like the hardcore players have stuck through with me, and so when you're trying to gather people locally, you're dealing with a smaller gaming pool of players, potential players. But when we open it up to online, it's gonna bring in people who are super dedicated to the game, and I think since we're playing one-to-one time, we're playing multiple parties in the same space. It's gonna be exciting if we're all on Discord talking about it. So right now we have people talking about it on the Chinese server, and then we have people talking about it on Discord. So I'm gonna make everybody bind up together on Discord so we can all like just share in the hype. I do want to mention Mr. Bill donated $5. Thank you, sir. Says, has the AD&D DMG discussed Shadowdark Era? Okay, yeah. So we are talking about AD&D. I will be running a little bit of Shadowdark once I stop my rant about how much I love this game and how much fun we had last night. I was teaching mostly new players. So Jack McCarthy has played AD&D before, but he's since transitioned to other games. But he came in with some experience and some like, the 40 some odd years of gaming experience. So he wasn't a new player. And then we also had one of the Broasar guys, Ray. He was there. He was our Belgium guy. He brought in a cleric from another game that he's been playing. He didn't get to play him much, so he's like, I want to bring him in. I'm like, of course. Any Broasar game, they're all compatible, all the campaigns. And so you just bring it in, no big deal. And then my buddy David, who has been in this world for 3 years, he has a very high-level magic user. His character, one of his low-level characters, alternate characters, died in September, and he hasn't been able to join in a while. And so last night he rolled up a thief, magic user, fighter, elf. So he never wants to level up. He doesn't care about leveling up at all. He may get a level in thief eventually. And he was really lucky with his thief rolls last night. I think he was at like a 50% success rate for a level 1 thief. Like not bad at all. Like he failed some stuff obviously, but yeah, he came through on all the stuff that mattered. Let's see. Hey guys, so I have adjusted my camera a little bit so I don't have to look terribly far away when I'm like reading. You're not going to be like seeing my head twist all the way around. I can kind of just get a look at it now. I am going to adjust it a little bit. All the greats are eventually labeled heretics. So absolutely love your new shorts, by the way. Yeah, Mr. Bill, those are great. Yeah, I love looking through these old books. It's so cool. When playing AD&D in China, does everyone get the same XP and you break alignment? You sit okay, all right. No, yeah, and they make this is I am not reading that out loud. Hey Fox, what's up, man? Good to see you. Who's this? Aramil. I don't think I've met you yet, Aramil. Nice to meet you. If you have commented before, if you've come and chatted with us before under a different name, or like maybe you're on X, hello. Hey, thanks for coming in. Cool. No. You don't have to worry about removing. It's okay. No, it's okay. It's just I that's very funny, and I like your joke. I'm just not gonna say it. It's interesting that China has been in the X discourse recently. Throw that one away. Because of the Hassan Piker, a very famous streamer, has come to China, and at least on my version of X, because I follow a lot of streamers, he has come to China, and it's really stirred up the conversation about like what life in China is really like. And I will say, even though he and I disagree on everything, he's right about his perception of China. It's not as bad as everybody thinks it is. There are things, obviously, that we're not going to be talking about on stream. But in your day-to-day life, if you live here, you can live a very happy life and never have any kind of issues at all. It's a really wonderful place. I choose to live here because I like it. Yeah. So I will say, and nobody's paying me to say that. Like, that is the absolute truth. I could go home anytime I wanted, and I don't want to. But it just sucks because I have to agree with somebody like Hassan Piker and a lot of people online who I really agree with on normal things. They are completely wrong on their perceptions of like what China is and like, how it is. Let's see. Don't you? Let's see. It says, "Don't think you have. I've seen your videos." Well, hey man, I'm really glad. I'm just gonna call you Aramil. Aramil. I'm glad that you came in. Well, thank you, man. I like that you're coming in and hanging out, dude. It's really cool. Um, Keep the OSR going. I am doing my best. I don't. Is this old school Renaissance? I don't know. I feel like AD&D is just its own thing. It just is D&D, and then everything else that came after it could be OSR. I just think this is like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is OSR. I don't know. Hey, Bodwick. Hey, man. What's up? Uh, Randomly saw someone drop your channel on Reddit the other day. Ooh, I don't know, man. Reddit makes me nervous. People there are so mean. They're so mean on Reddit. Do you have some local players in your game? I do. Yeah. We have one Chinese guy, two Americans, or well, me, three Americans, and then we have a couple Canadian guys that come in and out. They're pretty inconsistent though. The Canadians, they like the idea of a one-to-one time game, like an always-on world. What they don't like is trying to read through the rules. They're very spoiled in that, not in a bad way, but they're spoiled by modern games because modern game layout is just so superior to the layout of AD&D, and so they get kind of frustrated learning the rules. And I have high expectations of my players. You know, I expect that you do learn the rules, that you are reading the books, and so, they'll come in, and they're always welcome to play, but they're not as hardcore as some of my other guys who are like, this is the ruling, this is how we play it, this is how we adjudicate it, because we want to play rules as written. We don't want to make a bunch of stuff up, and that's cool. Like, if you like playing, homebrew rules at your table, more power to you. What we like to do is explore every possible rule and try to use it in the session, and it's so hard to do, but it's a fun challenge. Yeah, Piker. Boop, boop, boop. Put up against the boop, boop, boop. And his head went boop, boop, boop until they couldn't raise the handle anymore. AD&D is just old school. Oh, yeah, no R required. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, yeah. Reddit is super hit or miss. It was a post asking about my solo play videos. Oh, well, we are going to be solo playing today. That is the plan. I just don't know when we're going to start, because what I've found with these is that we just start chatting. I'm talking about like D&D philosophy, and then an hour and a half has gone by and we haven't done anything, and I only streamed for 2 hours. So I do want to show off some of my books. So I picked up a set of 5 books for AD&D, and I've talked about this before, but I was searching for these in China for years before I found them. I started following the Bro SR guys back in 2022, and they were always talking about AD&D, and so in 2022 I was casually looking for these books. In 2023 and 2024, I was like hardcore checking every week the Chinese eBay. And a couple of weeks ago, I found them on Chinese eBay on a whim, on an accident, because one of the guys in this 5e group that I play in, he was asking, what book do I buy for 5th edition? And I searched on the Chinese eBay. It's called Taobao. I searched for the player's handbook, and this image popped up, and I was really confused because I was like, they don't have this version of the game. What is going on here? And so I clicked on it. I was like, okay, what's happening? I instant clicked, and then I saw they had 5 books, and so we're gonna kind of go through them a little bit. But I instant clicked. I paid a lot for them. You have to deal with like shipping, and like they wanted to like, yeah, it is what it is. These are relics, and they are already a little bit expensive. I don't want to tell you how much I paid, but it's not so far above what you would pay in America, but it is more. It was more, but totally worth it. So I get so many solo games started, and they just don't get any legs and get going. I think I have a party made for Shadowdark OSE Axe 4AD. What is 4AD? I don't think I know that one. And Karn. I know Karn. I start one and get immediately sidetracked. And that's okay, man. You know, like they're always there. You can always pick them up again. What I do is I put each of the characters into a different folder and and then I label the folder. And so, like, for example, I could pull out, let's just pull out my one of my folders. I have my Call of Cthulhu folder here, and inside, you know, I got a bunch of characters. I've got a bunch of handouts and stuff. It keeps me organized, and then I have a little tray over here that I can, just easily reach and grab my stuff. So yeah, go play a game that you like. Eventually, you're gonna find one that's gonna hook you. I think that the first couple of sessions of any solo play is where you're going to find a make or break point for yourself. You're going to either, fudge the dice a little bit, fudge yourself a little bit, and then realize that you're not really that hooked into this character. Or you can go just like hardcore and be like, I'm just gonna go for it. Everything that happens, I'm just gonna play it and see how it goes, make good choices. Oh, my character's died, I'll start over. And then once you get past that first like 2 or 3, tries, you'll break past the hump. Yeah. Let's see. Guys, man, it is so good that you guys come and hang out with me. I really appreciate that. Let's see. Ooh. Banter is always acceptable. Thank you. Okay, I just want to chat a little bit, and I do want to do the solo play, but I just want to talk about this AD&D session we had yesterday. It was so fun, and the light in their eyes, guys. These modern players were like, "Oh man, AD&D. I'm a fan. This is cool." Like, I hope some of them can hop in and give their perspective on what happened, because for me, on my side, I was filled with joy throughout the entire experience, watching them like trying to map. Vic, who is like one of the channel like regulars, he was mapping, and he did such a good job. He only got one room displaced a little bit, but he did such a good job keeping everybody on track. Jack McCarthy stepped up as the caller, and he kept everything organized. His mic was on actively, everybody else was on push to talk, and so he was working with me. It felt really good. It felt like I had an assistant dungeon master helping me kind of like manage the other 5 players, because there were 6 players in total. Folks, I threw a $5 down. Hey, no, thank you, sir. Honestly, you guys don't have to donate. I think it's really cool that you do, because like it means a lot to me, because I do this for fun, and so when you guys donate, that just it's not necessary. It's kind of heartwarming, because like it just means that like we're having fun together. So thank you for that. I do appreciate it. Super this man. Wait, how did the books from Lake Geneva find their way to mainland China? And that is like, I know, right? This little right here, I told my wife, her name's Roxy. I was like, Roxy, look, there's a little bit of history right here. I've read the history of D&D so many times. Like, there's all these books that, documented what happened in the 70s and 80s. And I was just a kid, in 1984 is when I was born. So whenever I was growing up, all of this had already happened by decades, but I found this game later, and I'm so glad that I did. Let's see. Fox, he says, I love how AD&D is one of the most loved games. You got a print on demand copy. Yeah, well, I have some print on demands as well, and I was using them. But having the actual books for me was something that I had to do. I didn't care about the price. The print on demand, use them for sure. Use them, get them, play the game. But while you're waiting on your copies, you can use the print on demand. But now I've got these. They're my precious little angel biscuits. I keep them safe. At the table, I was telling my guys, because we do have beers, while we're gaming. And I was telling the guys, I was like, I might just keep the print on demands on the table for you guys, and I'll have a separate table on the side because they always knock their beers over. And I'm like, no. Whoa, 10 gifted subs. Come on, man. Thank you, bro. You just, whoa, dude. Thank you. Old friend. Known this guy for a long time. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate that. So yeah, look at all these people who are now channel members. If you are now a channel member, just know that every week I post the link on YouTube for channel members only to the Discord. And you can join the Discord, which gives you the opportunity to hop in a game. Right now we're playing AD&D. We mix around with different stuff, but I think I'm going to push for AD&D to be like the game that we play now. Just because I want my 3-year campaign world to continue to thrive. And right now, 3 consistent players isn't enough to make it thrive. And so you guys are more than welcome to come in and join us now. I will be sharing the link every week after the stream. I share it on YouTube as a post. So thank you, dude. Thank you. Hello, D&D dad and son. What's up, man? Dude, hey, man, what's up? It says, I've been running His Majesty the Worm. It's been a blast so far. Old schoolish, but with new school polish. Now, I think you mentioned that game to me, and that's the only place I've heard it. I don't think I've seen it anywhere else, but, you know. Have I been to Lake Geneva? No, sir. No. I have been all over America, but I have never been to the north, east, anything past, let's see, where's the most north I've been? Well, if we're in the center, Iowa. And if we're a little bit more west, I guess Yellowstone. So, yeah. But yeah, like all that, like the middle north and the northeast I haven't been, but I've been all over the rest of America. What time is it in China? It is early morning. It's not so bad. It's 9:30 a.m. We play. So this is how dedicated the guys are in the game. They woke up at 8 a.m. and played AD&D with me, the American guys. The guys in Europe, it was actually a pretty good time for them. They were like, this is very convenient. It's afternoon on a Saturday. Let's see. What time is it? The churches back home would have burned us at the stake. Yeah, no, I know, dude. Well, here's the thing is, like, you played back then, and I always wanted to play. And we never talked about it. Like, I never knew that. I think we talked about books. We talked about, in high school, we talked about, I remember the Game of Thrones books were huge for, like, super nerds like us, but it was way before the TV show came out. And we would spend hours talking about fantasy novels, but I don't know how we never talked about not playing D&D together. That just feels like an opportunity lost, right? I remember when we were in yearbook club, we could have played. That class was such a, it was an easy A, let's say that. Darn kids, got to keep those books protected. I am going to, bro. I am. Hey, man, what's up, dude? What is going on? Erudite DM. Really cool guy. I didn't catch a free membership. Oh, I don't know how that works. I think it just randomly just gives it away to people or something. I actually don't know how it works either, to be fair. But I can see that you're not a channel member, which is an accident. I can probably just gift you one, dude. What, you just had a baby? Wait, you did or your son did? Thank you, Dungeon Delver, for joining the channel. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. He came here at a good time, it seems. Well, I mean, everybody's here, it seems like. This is really awesome. Like, I love chatting. We haven't started the game yet, so I don't know. But this is where we're at. We're waxing. And here's the thing. I don't want it to be called nostalgia because this isn't nostalgia. I never played this game back then. I can't look back and be like, oh, it was so good back then. It was way better back then. No, I came to the game with 5th edition, and I liked 5th edition. And I still do in a way. But when I found these books and I realized the depth of the game, 5e, and I don't mean to say shallow in like a bad way, but 5e has a shallow depth of play. This game, the original game, I don't know why they would ever change it, honestly, because it was so good the way it was. They didn't need a second edition. But man, I see a lot of channel memberships going out, guys. This is really cool. I hope you join us in the Discord to play AD&D together. I hope some of the guys that were in the game last night hop in so they can tell you, like, we had a good time. Throw me a stream invite and I'll tell you tales of the satanic panic. Okay, so here's the thing, Mr. Delver, Mr. Bill. I want to do stuff like that, but the connection gets bad. And if we're trying to like stream for viewers, it's not great. I don't know if you got a chance to see the Black Lodge Games video. It was very like duh, 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 duh. So I don't know. Like right now, it seems like the connection is good. It's hit or miss with YouTube, and so I as much as I really want to do that, I just don't think it makes for very good viewership. Whenever I'm like, and you're talking, and you're like, "Are you there, Mike?" And I'm like, I don't know. We can. I would love to chat AD&D with you, sir. I would also want to. I want to play in your game. I see that you run one. My ear trumpet has been struck by lightning. We call him Meth BS here on the channel. This guy is. He is an old school G on this channel. I see him in a lot of streams. He's such a nice guy. He always comes in, he contributes, he shares really cool information on X. If you guys don't follow him, you should. He was sharing like some history that we could apply to our games. And yeah, such a cool dude. He's always so generous. Meth BS, my boy, my man. Yeah, I would love to play some games in the Discord channel. Yeah, so I link the Discord channel on YouTube for channel members. And so it's like just because I don't want it to be an open thing. I can't moderate it. And if anybody can join, then you might get like some, I just don't have the time to moderate. And so I just keep it for the channel members and then like real life friends. And so now that you are a channel member, you'll see the post, which I post every week. You can join the Discord. Yeah. YouTube gives and YouTube takes away. Yeah, this is the truth. But you are the man. Who is this unregistered hypercam? Hello. Oh, you must be one of Delver's people, huh? I don't know. Have we met? So the thing is like I try to get to know all the people in my chat. Oh, so YouTube picks who gets the memberships. Okay. Thanks, Audrey. Appreciate that. Oh, gotta go. See you, Mr. Delver. See ya. Holy crap. Congrats on the new kid. Yeah, I know, right? Like, this is such good news. Can't wait for me to open the book. Okay. Okay. Haven't played 1E since 86. Happy to play it. Oh, I see. Yeah, no, well, let me tell you. It's super fun. Dude, you are awesome. Don't shucks it. There are some great folks in here. So here we go. Got this unicorn. All of the art, I think, is just amazing. Some of it is adult themed, and that's cool. D&D should be for adults, not just kids. So if you've ever read the Advanced Dungeon Master's Guide, you know that Gary starts off talking about, here, I don't know if you guys can see it, talking about dice spreads and stuff. It is actually really useful because if you get further in the book, some of the dice mechanics that he uses aren't obvious. He's like, a D10 plus 5. So you're like, oh, huh? How do you get to 15? How do you average 15 in the encounter? And then like in parentheses, oh, D10 plus 5. Got it. Okay. Yeah, this game, it starts off talking about some things that are in the player's handbook that are a secret to the players, because his whole philosophy back then was the players don't need to know how well they hit things. The two hit tables are in the DMG. They shouldn't know if they're successful or not on their sneaks. The DM should be rolling these. These are traditions that are lost and we just don't use them anymore. And it feels like if we just went back and just read these books, we would be able to improve our tables so much. And I think like when it comes down to the core of what the Scudder for Mike YouTube channel is, it's what can we learn that we forgot, you know? So, hey, we got some more channel member people. Guys, thank you. This is so cool. I can't wait to game with you. This is going to be really, really fun. Some great folks in here. Yeah, I agree. I know Delver, but we showed up here independently. Ah, okay. Well, thank you for coming in. Have we chatted before, man? I'm sorry. I don't recognize unregistered hypercam. So if we have, I apologize. If we haven't, thanks for coming by. This is, yeah, it seems like everybody's awake right now. So this might be the time I try to stream going forward. My ear trumpet has been struck by lightning. He gave one to Shattered Lightning. Or Shattered Saint. Sorry. Malachi. Random subs get the gifted membership. Even if you're not watching a stream, you can get one. Oh, okay. So I'm seeing that right now on the stream. Let's see, how many people do we have? Oh, okay. So there's several people in, but people who aren't even on the stream can get the sub. Oh, I never knew that. Okay, I hate to say it, but the first chapter puts me to sleep. And I had that same experience the first time I tried to read it. I went through and I grinded through because the goal was read the book no matter what. And so, I got through it. But then when I went back later, I was like, oh, okay, this is actually kind of useful, these dice things, because when you're trying to generate like a lair or a random encounter, you actually do need to like think about, how do I make this number happen? Like what dice do I use? And we have improved those systems since then, but getting a good understanding of the dice, I think, is important. There's a lot of stuff in here that is so useful no matter what system you play. We use player grading from this system in every game I play. We use time, how time needs to be carefully tracked. I know some people like to play time like, if you're running multiple groups, or if you're, let's say your magic user is crafting a spell, and it takes, a month of his time, you can just say, oh, we bump ahead 1 month. What were the rest of you doing during that time? And then they keep rolling. It's all good. You can play any way you want. We use 1-to-1 time because it's easy. It's very, very easy to track. Let's see. Yeah, no, I get it. 5e players should have a better game if they read the books, especially the DMG. Now, my 5e DMG, I have used more than any other book, including the Player's Handbook, because I was running my random generated solo play originally from the 5th edition book. A lot of the things in the optional rules are really fun. We use proficiency dice. That's something we took. Very fun. Instead of like just taking the +2 at level 1, you roll a d4. So you could get lower, but you're probably going to average a little higher instead of just, like taking the set number. Rolling more dice is just fun. Yeah, there's lots of really cool things in that book. Oh, you're new. Okay. Well, you found the channel from solo gaming videos. Cool. So I'm curious about these solo plays, guys. Like, it doesn't make any sense that you all love them, and I'm so glad that you do. Honestly, I made them to teach people how to play and to teach myself how to play, but the overwhelming positive reception, I just want to say thank you guys for that, because the channel wouldn't be anything without like the core group of people who watch the solo plays. So thank you for that. Your 5e DMG was just a paperweight? Bro, it has got so much stuff. Another thing we took from this is gold for XP. And so what we do is in the 5th edition game that we play, every time you kill a monster, you take the monster's XP value, you divide that up, and then you roll on the DMG for a random treasure that they have. It is so fun to do that because you get way more magic items than if the DM's just handing them out. like way more. Scrolls, potions, everything. And then and then for every piece of gold, they get 1 XP. So players are desperate. They're searching everything, every monster's body. Yeah, it is an absolute blast. Um, Most of this stuff is just magic items. If you spend enough time in here, you're going to get to know some really cool stuff. I did include in my dungeon yesterday an artifact, a level 1 dungeon. It's got a legendary artifact. I'm not going to say which one because people might be watching. And I did tell them there were rumors of an artifact down there, but they have to find it. So it might not go well for them. We'll see. It's been fun learning the game with you, but we do end up getting invested in the PCs, especially in the original OSE game. The thing is they're all dying off, and they all like got corrupted in the last session. They went crazy, and so they're completely chaotic and evil now. And so I'm gonna let you guys handle it. You're gonna let me know what happens there. I'm not even sure how that's gonna play out because the lawful group is so small. There's like 5 people who are still like playable, and the rest of them are, crazy monstrous. Like they might take over the world. We'll see. Hopefully I can, hopefully they turn against each other and they whittle each other's forces down, and the forces of good have a chance. Nice. Playing some Dragonbane solo. Yeah, Barrel Maze is great. Greg Gillespie's so good. Dude, he writes incredible stuff. Okay. Let's see. What else do we want to see inside the DMG? The quality is really, really good. Like, look at, like, there's almost no damage. If we get in really close, we'll be able to see like a little smudge here. But I mean, this book is 50 years old. It's not a big deal. And this tables, like, these are very used. These are the tables that you randomly generate dungeons with, right? And so these get used a lot. This is how you build a hex. I've used this a ton. So yeah, my AD&D Dungeon Master's Guide is in incredible condition. Let's go over to the next one. I am going to play Shadowdark. If you came for Shadowdark, guys, I will get to it. I promise. Maybe. We'll see. I'm out of space. The Player's Handbook is the most damaged of all the books. I will try to see. Can you guys even see the damage here? So what we're dealing with here is a little bit of the spine is bumpy. It's basically nothing, but it is kind of coming off of the sewn binding. You can feel there's like a little bit of I don't know, like it's kind of warped a little bit. It's not bad, honestly. It's no big deal, but this is the most damaged of the books, which for me is awesome. Like, no big deal at all. I'm so glad I have it. There is a little bit of a tear right here. No big deal. But this is the book that you're going to be using the most, especially the guys in Discord. This is the one you are going to be referencing. It's got a lot of little details that you need to pay attention to, like how far can you go as an elf with, this level of intelligence, or, which race can you be? There's some, random stuff, stains. It just happens with these old books, but overall, this one is the most damaged with like little tears here and there, but it is completely still gameable. This is the one I'm going to be super, super delicate with. Let's see. I think I lost track of where you guys are. It was because of the videos that I picked up Downtime and Domain. What do you think about Downtimes and Domain? We used that book so much originally in my game a couple years ago. We've kind of gone away from it since. We still use it for inspiration for ideas, but now with AD&D, like you can just use the ideas that they have in this book to generate your downtime. Like recruiting retainers takes time. So, that's what you're doing. You can hire somebody to do it for you. It's more expensive. They never have enough gold to do that. Or, crafting a scroll. Hey, that takes time. Like that's most of the time, like time constraints that my players have is training, so leveling up. And that's when we break out new characters, and then they go into training, they're leveling up, and then we go back to our original characters. So you think they're in pretty good shape then, huh? Yeah, nice, yeah. Okay. No, you didn't come for Shadowdark. Glad to see you back, sir. I'm here to hang with all the bros. Well, dude, you've come to the right place because everybody's coming here today to hang out, and I really am so glad that they do because it makes this so much more fun instead of me like talking to just myself. You have the other second covers. Is it the brown ones? Invite me on stream and I will run you through a solo AD&D session right now. Sir, that does sound really fun. Let's talk. I will send you a message. How about that? And we can set up a better time because I only have 2 hours for streaming. I have an hour left, and then I'm going to go on it's date day with the wife. And so I am absolutely going to take you up on that, and we are going to talk. Very cool. I will use Crom right now and make a character in 5 minutes. So here's the thing with Crom. We used it for the guys because a lot of them have never played AD&D. They don't know anything about it. And I was making a character, and I was also at work. I have a bunch of 5-year-olds who are like, Mr. Mike, what are you doing? Mr. Mike, what are you doing? And I'm looking, and I add their proficiencies. And I'm like, okay, cool. I added their proficiency in longsword or in the short bow. And then when it came time to buy the actual longbow and sword, I forgot to do that. I was just like, okay, yeah, you have your armor, you got a shield. And in my brain, I was thinking they already have the longsword because I gave them the proficiency in it. And so they're all messaging me, Mike, can I have a longsword? And I was like, yeah, I forgot to add that. Don't build AD&D characters even with Crom while you're working. You need to stay focused because I was not focused. Let's see. So he's going to be running a Dragon Slayer module by Travis Falber. Is it the Barrow Crypt one? The Barrow King? Once your sanity returns? Dude, I understand. I think the book is great for something like OSC, but a lot of that is going to be in 1E. Yeah, some of it. Yeah, some of it. The thing is with that book, the Downtime and Domain book, it has really cool ideas, like sacrificing innocent souls for XP and stuff like that. Those kind of ideas, or like just carousing in general, they really speak to certain types of players. And so that book is really cool, and we do still use it for inspiration, but I haven't taken it off the shelf in a long time. Oh, Vic's here. Vic, what is up, dude? Have her roll up a character too. Vic, bro, I was just talking about the game. I'm so glad you're here. You can give your perspective in the chat about like what you experienced. He did a lot of the heavy lifting for the group. He was the mapper. So I pay to see that. If you missed it earlier, Bill, he said the connection when he invites people is almost unusable. Yeah, so the thing is it with Discord, I think it was happening yesterday too. Maybe Vic can share his experience of like gaming with me on Discord. I just hosting the stream is just hit or miss. So it could work really well. And like today I have a green connection, but then other days it just falls apart. And so I want a game with you, sir. Absolutely. Says I'd pay to see that if you, yeah. Okay. It says have her roll up a character too. Bam. There's date night. No. Okay. Here's the thing. My wife loves gaming. She is a huge gamer, but she loves Call of Cthulhu. She is not into D&D as much. She does have a level 7 cleric. No, level 8 cleric. She can cast like insanely powerful heals and remove curses and stuff like that. Things that like are just insanely powerful. She can resurrect people, but she just doesn't, she's done it because like that's what people were playing, but she likes she actively wants to play Call of Cthulhu. And I told her, I was like, oh, Sandy Peterson followed me on X, and she's like, who's that? Who is she? And I was like, no, it's the guy who makes the game you love. And she's like, oh, Sandy's a guy name? I was like, yes, it can be. That was great. Yeah, no, honestly, I would really love to play with you, Mr. Bill. I'm going to message you about that. So Vic's talking about the 1 HP cough cough. So Jack McCarthy was our fighter, and he chose to be the frontline guy in the marching orders. He has 1 HP, doesn't tell anybody, and he charges into melee. And when you do that, you lose additional armor class bonuses that if you slowly approach melee, you get to keep, but you don't get to attack. And he's like, I'm going in swinging. And he goes in, he has 1 hit point. He lowers his AC on purpose. He does get to kill a little blue guy. I'm not going to say what they are. But I think that people are starting to figure it out. The little blue guys, you might know. They keep calling them Smurfs. Why not? But he just played it so well. And with 1 little attack from a Smurf, he went down. And I was like, you went down? You're the fighter. He's like, yeah, you must not have looked too closely at my my character sheet. I was like, yeah, I made that while I was at work. Let's see. My DMG has a guy opening 2 doors. My PHB has a white bearded wizard. And, I actually don't think I'm aware of this cover. Yeah, I don't think I know that one. The alternate covers, I don't know it. Going to be a local American takeout place. Have a wonderful day with Roxy. Give her a hug for me. We are going to have so much fun today. We're going to an art museum it's Chinese artists that are inspired by like 1970s style cartoons. And so I'm going to try to take as many pictures as I can, but a lot of the art there today looks like the cartoon, I'm blanking, Heavy Metal. And so I'm really interested in like what they're doing. It's like sci-fi fantasy. Excuse me. I'm really excited about this museum. So Beijing has like some of the coolest exhibits, but you need to be able to find them, and because they're all in Chinese. My wife can read Chinese, so it's a lot easier for me to find really cool stuff. You have an idea? Okay, cool. Also, you can bother Harmony. She and I game together as well. So if you want to get like a group together, I play with Dundermoose, and I know that he's been on your channel. I've always been aware of your channel, Delver, but I really started watching whenever you went on the Dundermoose show, and that's when I started going in your back catalog and just like watching a bunch of your stuff. Yeah, Harmony, Dunder, and we game together all the time. So if you want to like make like a little group, I'm into that too. Yeah, we make it work through Discord, but yeah. No, here's the thing. So let's talk about, let's see what Vix has to say. Sorry, I'm getting excited because the idea of playing with Dungeon Delver is going to be so fun. Vic said that it was really good. Mike was awesome. Well, thank you. The guys we played with were rad. They were so cool, and I think they got really excited about AD&D. You did your best mapping. You did a very good job. I would say 90% correct, not 80. It was a great time. The net connection was fine. So yeah, you didn't see any kind of like breaking up. Yeah. Call of Cthulhu is fantastic. Great taste. Have you guys tried Blades in the Dark? I played Blades in the Dark as a player, never as a DM. If you follow Night Danger on X or YouTube, he runs games for... We all run games together for each other. I've run Mothership for this group. It's our random tables group. It's Harmony Ginger, Dundermoose. Jack is like an honorary member, Jack McCarthy, and Night Danger. And so I ran Mothership for like 5 sessions. Now he's done 4 sessions of Blades in the Dark. It's fun. It's definitely a story game. It's fun. I thought you were in China, not Japan. Dude, they have really cool art. Like, it's I think this this stream would have been better if I would have just like only done the face, because like I haven't even done the solo play. Uh, but you guys do get to see the books, which is cool. So check this out. We have deities and demigods here. This is the one with the Cthulhu mythos and the Elric stuff. Let's see. Where is it? Oh, there. Cthulhu mythos, and then Elric is. People have been trying to correct the way I say Melnibone. 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 I'm not Italian, and I'm also not a nerd, so I just say Melnibone. I've been reading it as Melnibone. I can't stop. Just like I say Malaki instead of Malachi in the chat. I told him, I was like, I'm probably going to accidentally call you Malaki still. Do you not know Bill runs a better Call of Cthulhu game than AD&D? For shame, Mike. I think I did know that he ran because he had like a Halloween game, but I don't know if it's better than AD&D. I take umbrage with that. Pop Smurf. Never mind. Yeah, so it could be a Smurf. Maybe. Maybe it's just a bunch of Smurfs. There are Ewoks in our world, so there's something fun about mixing genres together. So yeah, there are technically Ewoks in the universe somewhere. The players have encountered them and they were like, are these Ewoks? I was like, yes, they're Ewoks. My AD&D game is greater than my Call of Cthulhu game. Yes, I'm with you there. I love Call of Cthulhu, but nothing is like this. This is just next level. Let's turn over to our friend H.P. Lovecraft. Is it page 43? Let's just take a look at some of the monsters that you don't see in all of the books. Got the Chinese mythos. I asked Roxy, I was like, are any of these things actually a part of the Chinese mythos? And she said no. She doesn't recognize any of the stories. Let's see. Oh, wait, 43. Oh, man. I'm going the wrong way. Yeah, we're already in it because I can see some of the Cthulhu monsters. Okay, yeah, Cthulhu mythos right here. I love this piece. I feel like this is a pretty famous piece right here. You can see like some astral star spawns, of course. I think these are it's hard to explain. In the mythos, in the stories, I like Nyarlathotep and Cthulhu, like the more distant ones, old ones. But the deep ones, when I'm running Call of Cthulhu, are my favorite monsters to use because they can be living among you, right? Like maybe you haven't quite made the change. You're an Innsmouth local, but you haven't quite started to display. I think this is an Errol Otis piece. It's really famous. Isn't this an Errol Otis piece? Maybe you guys know. I'm not saying this one. I'm not saying that name. Let's see. Let's catch up with the chat a little bit, boys. You guys are blowing me up right now. Okay, so Dave Easley covers. Okay. Yeah, please do. Yeah, please do. I want to see them. Yeah, I feel like maybe I've seen them, but like, I wouldn't be able to say like, oh, I know which ones you're talking about. Honestly, yeah, I don't know. Deities and Demigods is my favorite cover. 2 clerics fighting while 1 cleric's gods. Dude, okay, check this out. Look at the quality. The worst that you have is like on the edge here, it rubbed a little bit. This book is in better condition than some of my 5 ebooks. Like, it is so good. The pages are pristine. Like, I don't think anybody ever played with this. Like, the most damage is just like on the corners where it like was probably rubbing in a box where it was sitting. Like, that's wild. Can somebody tell me about this piece? Is this Errol Otis? Because he's my favorite like weirdo illustrator. Like, so like we were talking about heavy metal. This kind of reminds me of heavy metal. Like, if I saw this kind of art in a cartoon, in like a feature film, I would be stoked to watch that. I would be like, shut up, take my money. Yeah. Says okay, does that printing have the special thank you to Chaosium printed in it? I don't know. Where would I find it? Because is it kind of snarky? Mike says, I'm sure you're right, Bill, but as far as your streams, it's Call of Cthulhu, Gamma World, AD&D, but maybe that's just for the players. Oh. Yeah, Gamma World is technically AD&D. He's right, Mr. Riniger. Yeah, in the DMG, it tells you how you can use those things in your fantasy game. Flint, hello. Sorry, I didn't mean to blow up the mic on you guys. Flint, hello. Thank you for coming by, buddy. Malachi, it is the Cthulhu and the Moorcock mythos. Lucky bastard. Actually, so people have been commenting on my X post about this. I made a short because I was so excited that this stuff was in here, and they were like, "It's not that rare, actually." And I was like, "Oh, okay." I mean, I didn't know that I was gonna. I want to have this version because it has more monsters in it. So like, yeah, it may not be rare, but I like it. I still like it. Don't try to yuck my yums, okay? I'm having a blast over here. Look at this piece. Look at this weirdo piece right here. This is Errol Otis. It says right there, Errol Otis 80. Does it say Errol Otis on this one? This says, I don't know who that is. I don't know. Let's, Man, you guys are just blowing me up today. This is so fun. Thanks for coming by. 1,200 videos and growing. Get on my level, bro. I think I have like 150 videos on YouTube. There's a couple different printings of the first print, and the very earliest do not have a thank you to Chaosium. Oh, so if you can tell me the page that the thank you would be located, I'll try to find it. I can say it was $12 at the Hobbycraft store, somewhere. It says 1980. Cover painting by Errol Otis. Golly, what a cool dude, right? I just love this book so much. Yeah. Okay. I completely forgot that this is Elric. Yeah. There's Elric in here. Just, guys, I can't gush over this stuff enough. Let's look at another one. I have others. This is a book I used yesterday, and that's going to give you players a clue on what those little blue smurfs are. But again, look at the condition of the Fiend Folio. The only damage is this little corner tip right here. I'll try to put it where you guys, can you see this? I don't know. It's so hard to do this backwards. Okay, there we go. The only damage is a tiny little dent here. Can you imagine? Like, this book it came out in like the 80s, right? Like 1980, and it's in perfect condition. What is going on? Like, how did I get lucky like this? I don't understand. Look at this. Look at this amazing piece. And this is why WotC will never win. The most metal art they have is by, do you guys know Richard Witters? I don't know how to say his name. He's amazing. He's the guy who did the Demigorgon, like all of the Demon Lords. He did Strahd for 5th edition. He is amazing. He is the only artist in 5th edition that I like. They can never, like, if they don't hire more people like him, they'll never be able to match this. It's just the sad truth. Like, look at how hardcore this is. This guy is Jack McCarthy's character last night. Like, it's over for this dude. Mel Nibone. Mel Nibone. Dude, I am not going to get into this conversation again. Why isn't it Mel Nibone? It is Mel Nibone, I guess. I just say Mel Nibone because that's what I read. And when I, years ago, I was like, Mel Nibone. I don't know. And then it just stuck with me. That is Errol Otis's work. Okay, I am so far behind in the chat, guys. I'm sorry. It is Errol Otis's work, the piece that I really like. They're all Errol Otis pretty much. Okay, cool. So jealous. That book is really what you want on your shelf. Well, I mean, yeah, I am blessed to have found it after years of searching. Had Errol Otis on the show. I will check that out. That's great. Errol Otis and Bill Willingham set the tone for BX back in the 80s. It's at least $300 for a copy on eBay. Oof. I paid about that much. Yeah, I paid about that much. Don't forget hit all the notifications white bell to catch all of Mike's streams. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm not very good at promoting the channel. I forgot to even share that I was going to be streaming today. I just forgot. So, but it didn't seem to affect anything. People still came. So let's look at some more of the art. This is so good. Look at these Grimlocks. I didn't know the Grimlocks didn't come until the Fiend Folio. This book, it is just as good as the Monster Manual. Like, there's the guys in this book, these people, like, they're just as useful to your table than anything. Like, this book is very useful. The bad boys that we are playing with in our current dungeon are from here. I don't like Kenku. I don't like them. I think they're silly. Maybe you guys disagree. I just, no, not for me. Oh, so cool. Look at this. Kuatoa. Oh, I just love this book so much. You don't need to buy a new edition of D&D. You need the old one. You need the first one, and then you're good forever. Were they mostly British? I don't know. That's a good question. Accent on the nib. Oh. Hey, Scudderfur, first time catching one of your live streams. Solo RPG is a recent interest, and I appreciate your channel and its content with the solo stuff. It helps open up a field I really never knew existed. Well, Philip, I am glad that you found the channel. Thank you for stopping by, man. I did have a plan to run some Shadowdark, but I don't see anybody in here asking for Shadowdark. And so maybe we'll put that off for another time. I know the thumbnail might be a little misleading, so I do apologize if you came for that, but most people nipples most people here are just chatting about the majesty that is Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. And so I don't feel like shifting gears right now. I'm having a lot of fun showing off these books. The Norker, actually, I want to see more Norker action in my dungeons. They're good for low level. I could actually use them. But look at this art. Come on. There's nothing that WotC's making that just keeps up with this. Yeah. Don't forget, I said, I have a copy of that in the mail right now. Dude, I have to send you pics of my wilderness survival guide. Yeah, okay, cool. You got it secondhand and it looked like it spent all of its time is on the shelf. Thank you, whoever was the original owner. You kept this book pristine. Oh man, you did a YouTube short about the folio. Yeah. Let's watch that. That's gonna be awesome. Yeah, I mean, when you're looking at some of the monsters in here, you realize like the Slotty, like, or the Slade, I don't know how to say it. You realize like so much of the culture is for Neblin, so much of the D&D zeitgeist actually comes from Fiend Folio. And I've always been kind of just like, you only need the first 3 books, you're good to go. But the monster books as well, you should pick them up. If you want to have some diversity, if you want to know like a little bit more about these races, I think the Fiend Folio, Deities and Demigods, the second Monster Manual, even if you really want to keep going, like I think the monster books are just as good and as useful as the DMG and Player's Handbook. Let's keep going. Let's look, make a stack here. What do we got? The only book I haven't shown off yet is my favorite monster cover of any book. Shift these heavy books around, and there's so much going on this cover, and the more you look, the more you notice. So my favorite art piece is this troll. It just is. It reminds me of, if you guys have read 3 Hearts and 3 Lions, the troll in that book is the big bad, like scary monster that, you know, they foreshadow a little bit, and then when they experience it, they realize like they're way out of their depth. I'm a big Appendix N guy, and every troll that I have, I try to make them as scary and as menacing as the troll in Three Hearts and Three Lions. The bugbear looks absurd. I love it. On the back, the story continues. I mean, right? Like, this is where it's at. This book, the cover is amazing. And there's over 350 monsters, guys. So, the flump. Let's see. Let's take a look. I have caught a couple of them. Yeah, they're good, man. I'm old school and I grew up with D&D and solo RPGing. I'm certainly an Hey, well, Philip, man, thanks, man. I really do appreciate it. I love Shadowdark, but save it for another day. Dude, honestly, I want to talk about Shadowdark because it is an amazing system. And Kelsey has put together something that is very important for the hobby, because if we are trying to onboard people into this, we need something like Shadowdark, because these books, they are for people who are dedicated to the hobby already. You're not going to see, like, you're not going to pick up if you're 22 and you want to play Dungeons and Dragons, you've seen Stranger Things, you're not going to go and buy the monster manual on eBay from AD&D. You're just not going to. You're more likely to, pick up a box set from 5e. And what Kelsey has done is she has made a system that is interesting and exciting to somebody who wants hardcore. They want to play the Stranger Things. They want to play like in the Hellfire Club. They don't want wheelchair heroes in the Keep on the Borderlands. They want to play, a flame sword wielding paladin that's beating back hordes of demons, right? So where can they find that? If they're looking for accessibility, if they're looking for that cool art, that cool style, the lethality, the tradition of tracking encumbrance and tracking light sources, random encounters, reaction rolls, if they're looking for this tradition and they've heard all these stories from the 80s and the 90s and they're like, I want to play that, I don't want to play wheelchair people, then they're going to gravitate to something like Shadowdark because it's easy to learn. There's only one book you have to buy that has Ascending Armor class, and people really like Ascending Armor class. I'm fine either way, but most people like number go up. And so Shadowdark has its spot in our culture, and we need to be embracing it and onboarding people into the hobby through Shadowdark. I have had a lot more success teaching RPGs to English as second language learners, to people, international players, to hobby tourists with Shadowdark. And then once they're into it, they play a couple sessions, they really like it, maybe they finish a module, then I'm like, would you like to try the original beast, like the deep lore, the old ways? And usually people are super into that, So I am glad to call Kelsey my friend, even if it is just an online friend. I'm glad to play her game and to share it with people. And I think that there are many systems, and whatever you want to play, that's cool. But there are some that we can rally behind and use to our advantage as a hobby. Bring new people in, keep the hobby alive, keep it growing. Just like I want to keep my campaign going, I have to bring in new people. We need to keep people coming into the hobby, and that's younger people as well. And not everybody wants to play a blue-haired tiefling, Some people want to play that heroic barbarian Conan fantasy. All right, that was enough of my rant. Let's see. I'll catch up with the chat to see what you guys were saying. The last thing I said was read was Erudite DM saying, I love Shadowdark, but save it for another day. What do you realize when looking at the flump in the theme folio? Is it that they're like farting the whole time? It's like, WotC's current art style is way too sanitized and safe. I agree. It's like they go out of their way to appeal to everyone at once, and they just come off bland. Yeah, I think when you try to appeal to everybody, you're not going to hit anybody. You know, you need to find your market, and maybe that is the market, like generic bland RPG, and it's for the tourists. They come in and then they leave, and maybe they never get a campaign off the ground. Maybe they do. I don't know. But I don't think in 20 years they're going to be carrying on the tradition. You know, the torchbearer. We are the torchbearers, the people who are keeping this alive, and so it's our responsibility to make sure that people have fun with the hobby, and they still understand that it's not a power fantasy, in the sense that, like, you win no matter what and you'll always come out on top and we're all just the best of friends. It's more, can I overcome the obstacles? And most of these characters, like Jack McCarthy's 1 HP fighter, he did drop, but he didn't die. He didn't outright die. I think he like went to like -1 or -2 and then started taking his 1 point per damage per turn. They stabilized him, they rescued him, they dragged him out, and he was able to hobble towards the very end. And so embracing that suck is part of the fun. Let's see. Malachi, if you are unsure of pronunciations, check D&D Beyond. Some monsters have the speaker, right? So there's a funny story. My buddy was running a game on D&D Beyond, and he was like, "You're stepping through the darkness, and then you see." And he clicked on the item, and he didn't know what it was doing. He was just like clicking on it to try to like bring up the stat block, and it was like, "And you see," and then the speaker blasted, "Giant bats," and he's like, "You see, never mind," and everybody's like, "What?" It's so funny. Giant bats. We had some good times with the Kenku and Trollopulus. Blah, 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 blah. They can be used well. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that's true. I just don't like them. I think they're dumb. No Unearthed Arcana. Absolutely not. No, I am very much against Unearthed Arcana. Yeah, I do like the Cavalier. And I wish there was a knight class in the core book, but you can just play a fighter or a paladin. Yeah. I don't want them changing the paladin subclass. I don't want them, the power level is weird. Yeah, no, I don't mess around with Unearthed Arcana. Okay, yeah. There's also this trend of making everybody pretty. Give me some ugly characters. If you're going to play a tiefling and you're like, "I'm a beautiful tiefling," it's like, no, you're not. You're a demon. You have literal horns growing out of your head. You have fangs. You're a monster. People should be scared and running from you or chasing you with torches. Like, you are not a beautiful blue-skinned tiefling. You love the purple worm? Dude, I know. It's so good. It's so good. 3 Hearts, 3 Lions. It is a must read, and it's short. There's no reason that you can't read 3 Hearts and 3 Lions. It takes, I mean, it's probably 120 pages, maybe. I can't remember exactly. That's a week, right? Like, if you read like 20 pages a day, that's a week. It says Flump is in the Monster Manual too. It's in both. It's in the Fiend Folio. I know. I think I did see it in the Fiend Folio. Yeah, it's in there. You still have all these and Unearthed Arcana. I mean, I'm not saying like, you should not be playing with Unearthed Arcana. I'm saying I don't let it at my table. The State of D&D art goes all the way back to post Gygax 1E and onward. Management wanted to appease the blue-haired church lady. So titty art went out the door, and D&D has been worse ever since. Yeah, man, why can't we just have our titty art? Like, just give me a big tittied Lamia, Like, what's so wrong with that? That's great. Yeah, they are in there. I saw them. Yeah, they're in there. You'll never sell yours. Don't. Actually, Mr. Bill was talking about how he sold his books, and I was like, in agony for him. He was on Dundermoose's stream, and he was talking about how, like, you know, they gamed in college and they got bored of the game and then they sold their books, and then he's like trying to go back and like rebuild his collection. Like, my heart. I was like, no. And I think a lot of people made that mistake. I know I made it with my Magic the Gathering cards, and so that's a hobby that I play and I don't really talk about very much. Magic the Gathering is super fun, but you have to be careful not to just buy a bunch of the new cards. You'll waste your money. There's nothing to it, but you can still play your old cards. There's nothing stopping you. And so I have all these old cards, and then I sold off a bunch of them when I moved to China, because carrying all that, like, that cardboard weighs a lot if you get enough of them. And now I'm going back and I'm rebuilding decks that I had before, you know, and I'm like, the cards that I sold, they're worth like so much money now. And I'm like, why did I do that? I have to rebuy them. You know, I don't have to, but I want to. Let's see. Delver says, so not the set from 1987 to today. I don't remember what we're referencing here. I'm pretty far behind the chat. Rule Cyclopedia is a dang good one. Volume. Okay. Yeah, I think, I mean, that's what I play, right? I started this hobby. I started the older games with OSE, which is the first 14 levels of Rules Encyclopedia. I only know the flump before. Yeah, the flump. What a silly monster. I don't know how to use it. I'm like, what am I going to do with a flump? I don't know. Post Guy Gas got us a lot more Elmore and Parkinson, and the hobby's better off for it. Interesting take. I think I agree with that. Like those artists back in the day, like there was like 4 or 5 that were just like Elmore. Yeah, I mean, there's some really good guys back then. They did a lot of good work. Darlene, yeah. Trampier, oh yeah, no, he's listing them all out. Just been over here with the work of them, yeah. And I mean, they're really good. But I mean, honestly, the art here, I love. Like, this is the most ridiculous owlbear you could ever draw, and it is special. Oriental Adventures, I've never read it. I don't know anything about it. I know it exists, but you don't get Errol Otis to yourself. No one's getting Errol Otis to themselves. You have to share. That's because everyone in the PC is a superhero. There's no basic adventure. Yeah, and that's really what I'm trying to teach these guys on the channel, in the channel members, like in the Discord with the game. I told them, you know, don't be too attached to your character. We rolled up 2 characters each. You might lose your character. You're going to be playing both characters on and off. If your guy is in training, I don't want to track when you're in training and then jump everything ahead. I have other games I'm running with other people. It's easier for me to track if we just match the calendar to the game world to our real life calendar. And so Jack knows that in 1 week, his character will be healed enough to go on an adventure again. And that's November 22nd from when we played yesterday. We looked it up. And so now we just mark in the calendar. I can play again on the 22nd. I don't have to do any kind of like, everybody is caught up now, you know, like, we want Jack to play with us. So let's, you know, everybody bumps up a week. What were you doing? We just match it to the calendar. It's the easiest system to use. And with my multiple country games, I need something like 1-to-1 time to make things manageable for me. Yeah. Let's see. Oh yes, I do. I want your Elmore and Parkinson. Get out, and I get Otis in the divorce. Yeah, no. As far as Oriental Adventures, I don't know anything about it. Yeah, I think it offended people. Maybe WotC apologized for it. The best part of Unearthed Arcana are the pole arm descriptions. Well, you can use the descriptions, I guess. I just don't want any of the classes affecting the game. The classes of Unearthed Arcana require strict enforcement of the character limitations, which can lead to bad blood. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Strict character limitations. Yeah, I mean, they're just really powerful. Yeah, I just want to avoid it. I just like the core book. It's fine. there's more than enough action with those classes. You'll be fine. And everybody's running like 2 characters minimum anyway, so you're not going to get bored. We lost the titty art, but we got Caldwell thighs. Yeah, we did. The artist that was told he could no longer do Dragonlance. It's like, you're done. You're done, sir. A lot of ex-wives forced off the air of the... Yeah. I'm glad I got out of Magic at the same time I got out of Warhammer. My bank account has been thankful. Yeah, it is expensive. I did pretty great. I went 9 years without buying any Magic cards, but only in the past couple weeks have I started like rebuilding some decks. And they're going to be forever decks. I have 2 decks that I've been playing with for 15 years, and I'm good. I want to build a 3rd one, and so I'm buying cards that I used to have. It's not necessary. It's just something I want to do, and something you need to be careful with, because if you're trying to play standard where they're releasing a new set every couple of months, you'll go broke, and the cards, like, they're just so generic and like they've lost all of their like excitement. There's some good ones, but yeah, I just feel like it's a trap and you have to be careful. If you're going to dip your toe in, make sure you're ready to pull out as quickly as you can. Let's see. Philip, you said, I've heard you mention being in China and getting together and teaching RPG. Do you care to share why I am in China? I live in China. Why am I here? Well, today I'm here because I have a job and a wife and it's my life. But why did I come to China? It was to explore the world. I lived in a small town in the south, and yeah, it's a pretty small town, and there just wasn't enough of. I didn't really fit in very well there, and I wanted to like find more things, learn more things, and so I started traveling America, and I found that like there are some really cool places, but I moved to like liberal cities. And now I'm going to start losing subscribers, but I moved to some liberal cities, and because I liked the philosophy of what they offered, but when I got there, I realized that the South was actually way better in every way. Everybody in the liberal cities were pretty fake or shallow in their relationships, and so I was like, this isn't the answer, and I was like, all I do is miss the South. And so I was like, okay, let's try the South again. And then I was like, okay, now what else? And so I started traveling internationally, and the money's really good if you can get certain certifications and build up some experience. The money's really good. And so I came here financially, but then you just kind of fall in love with the Chinese people. They're incredibly sweet, helpful. They're a different culture than us, but you'll find that the values align really well. They believe in family and tradition, at least the values that I grew up with, which were Louisiana values, like family, tradition. Religion doesn't fit in over here, but their values are so similar to Christian values, like kindness and charity and helping people and like being there. Like, I love the Chinese people, and so yeah, that I'm here because I have a good life going over here. I do miss home. I go back every once in a while, but the cost of living is very low here, and the salary is just as good as high-end middle class in America. So you live as an upper class person because of the difference. Yeah. Oh my, I have missed so much of the chat. Let's see. You only did draft nights. Now draft is fun, but it is expensive. Did you see? Okay, so I do like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I don't know if you guys can see on the rack over here. Those are Ninja Turtles right there. But the thing is, Malachi, is that the Lord of the Rings set, the art, bro, get out of here with that art. I'm just saying. I'm not gonna get into it, but get out of here. Um, okay. So let's see. You got some cool artists you guys are talking about. His stuff is great, awesome. Flump appears in a silent, trembling, telepathic prophet of some unseen psionic horror, but they're farting the whole time, warning the party. Good night, Scudderfer. Hey man, good night, bro. Thanks for coming. Yeah, awesome, man. Excellent. So cool of you to come by. I know you got like a lot on your hands right now. Um, yeah, Vassin. I've seen some of the Vassin art. Very cool. Brian Renninger says Oriental Adventures is pretty good, though it makes the mistake of adding weapon specializations and non-weapon proficiencies. Yep, I'm not cool with that. What do you think about the story engine deck? I don't know what that is. It must be to somebody else. NWP are good. It's just the DMs did not use them properly. Oh man, yeah, you guys are having interesting chats, and I don't know what everything it is that you're talking about. Cool. Yeah, unsubscribed. He said that he likes the South. Oh, you live in the South too. Yeah, I think aren't you in Florida? Isn't that right? Because Harmony mentioned that you guys were like neighbors or something. You wouldn't leave here, not at gunpoint. Um, I've been to Florida a few times. I've traveled there, but it's always been like tourist stuff. So I really wouldn't know. I can tell you that Louisiana is amazing. Having lived all over America, um, I would go back to Louisiana. Yeah, if maybe when I'm older. We're probably gonna move, Roxy and I, whenever it's time to like retire in a couple years. We're gonna live in the west in Xinjiang province because we have homes out there and family. Her family's out there, and it's beautiful. It's like mountain. It if you've ever been to if you've ever been to Oregon or Washington, it's like that. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful. Like beautiful rivers. If you've ever been to Yellowstone, like it's like that. Beautiful rivers, mountains, trails, horseback riding, just gorgeous land, and it goes on forever and ever. And yeah, that's probably where we will retire. But if we ever come back to America, it'll be Louisiana. The food, the people, it's just so good. Yeah, my mom is in the chat and she's like got all these hearts like, oh. Yeah, what part of Louisiana? Nope, not Lafayette or Alexandria, a little bit more north than that. You're from NOLA? What? No joke. I am from the north, the Hunter's Paradise, the northern part. It's like close to Shreveport, Webster Parish. Yeah, I lived in Ruston, Louisiana, when I went to college, and then I stayed there for a few years after. If you know where that is, Louisiana Tech. That's where I went to school. Let's see. Yes, I was the same way with the Lord of the Rings art. Nope, just nope. Right. I enjoyed the D&D Magic sets. I bought some of those cards because I was curious. I bought some of those recently. I haven't used any of them. Yeah. Love to go there, catch a crowbar show. Love to go there, catch a crowbar show. I don't know what that means. Florida, yeah. You're not far from each other. Yeah, no, I would drive to Louisiana, from Louisiana to Florida during the summer. Yeah, yep, Northwest Louisiana. He knows. We grew up together. I lied, I'm back. It's halftime. SEC country. Yeah, boy! SEC. Like, that's where football is, right? Like, man, golly, there's some great teams. Yeah, the Shreveport. Yeah, Shreveport area. Really close to Shreveport. You're in Washington. You have a son in Florida. He drove up to Alabama for the weekend, camping, and learned orb weavers, bigger than your head, are everywhere. What's an orb weaver? Is that like some kind of bug? Orb weaver. Yeah, I like Washington. It's beautiful. I like travel. Seattle used to be way more beautiful, I think. Same thing with Portland. Um, I moved to that area because I wanted to like live in a clean, beautiful city that, values itself for what it is. And Portland, they want to keep themselves weird, right? They went too weird. Seattle, it's the same thing. Like they have like there's that rivalry there, but they're identical, and that's why they have the rivalry. But like Seattle has so much going for it, so many unique, beautiful things, and now it's like you walk down the street and you're just like you're looking at all the people just doing drugs. They're all slumped over like zombies. I don't know. I'm not trying to trash your area, but come on, like clean up the streets, get these people off, like get them the help they need. I don't know, but like you cannot live like that. And that's what's awesome about Beijing. They would never tolerate that. Like they have too much pride in their communities. Like there are some poor people. Like sometimes you'll see like a beggar on the street, but like it's not something that's common. It's not something you're going to be like, I'm walking down the street and I will see 5 of them, like you may not see one for a year or 2. And so, yeah, China's better in some ways, America's better in others, but you're safe in China. There's no violence. I don't have to worry about getting robbed. Never. My wife can walk home in the dark and not blink twice, like completely safe in every way. And you just can't do that in those cities that I used to love so much anymore. It's just too... Yeah, I don't want to offend anybody. You know how it goes. It's just, there are things in America that could be improved, and I love my country, and I'm sad that the state of affairs. Oh, it's a spider. It's a giant spider. They are huge spiders. Okay, yeah, we have some big boys in Louisiana, too. Like, you'll be walking, like, we have a lot of pine trees, so you'll just be, like, walking, and you cut through a place, and you're just, like, full web. Like, you're like, where is it? I know he's on me somewhere. Golden Orb Weaver. Okay, all right. Crowbar is an American sludge metal band formed in New Orleans. The band is fronted by vocalist guitarist Kirk Weinstein. Oh, okay. Well, maybe I'll check them out. I love metal. Seattle was good to live in until they decided to destroy them. Yeah. Now, I'm sure that people who live there, they should still have pride in their city because there are still like amazing areas that you can go. It's still fun things you could do there. I don't want to see all that stuff. Like Seattle is boarded up, buildings and fentanyl. Yeah, it's sad. There is still beautiful stuff there. It's just, what were they thinking? They had like this beautiful paradise and they just let it go. Yeah, it's too bad. It really is a shame. I'm a fine dining cook by trade and discovered seasonal work and have found jobs working in Yellowstone and Wyoming and Montana, feeding the staff. Montana is a lot like Xinjiang. It's gorgeous. Depending on like what side of Yellowstone you go into, both sides are basically the same. Montana's good because there's no people. Wyoming, no people. There's just no people up there, which is why it's so great. It was great. Last time I was there, I was, I was just doing the tourist thing, and a lot of Chinese people travel to Yellowstone because, so in Chinese, you say America, it's called Megua, which means beautiful country. And so they travel to America to see all the beautiful stuff. And so I'm walking down the street and there's this group of Chinese foreigners, and then I break out into my Chinese and they're like, what? They all kind of like step back and they're like, I don't understand. And they call us foreigners in our own country. They're like, oh man, that foreigner can speak Chinese. Did you hear that? And I was like, I'm not a foreigner. This is my country. I think you're the foreigner. And they were just like, what? Like, it was so funny. Oh man. I love telling that story because they just like, they melted down. Like they were just like, what? Their eyes popped out of their head. Yeah, no, I would love to do seasonal work like that. That sounds like fun, dude. Philip, I bet you have a really good time getting to meet a bunch of people, cook some food, getting to stay in like a beautiful area. Hopefully they keep that space pristine. It is a national park, so it does get some protection. Oh, Seattle is a dying city. It's depressing. I was a Portland guy. I lived in Portland. I was a Timbers fan. I didn't like the Sounders. There was a rivalry, but I would, obviously I still liked going there. But it's the same situation with Portland. It's probably worse in Portland, to be fair. By the way, Florida's full. Sorry, not taking any guests. It's bad here, very bad. Big mosquitoes. Yeah, get out of here. Don't move here. The Seattle homeless industrial complex perpetuates the destruction while fleecing the taxpayers. This is not a political channel, and I'm not going to get into my politics, but there is an insidious attack on America, and I'm witnessing it from afar, and there's nothing I can do from where I am except for appreciate the beautiful life and family that I'm building over here. I'm glad that I'm away from it. Let's see. Texas is full too. Send them somewhere else. Oh, so you're in Texas now, huh? Okay. Tour bus is full of Asian tourists looking at the cool sights. Yeah, it is. And they all have like this flag, and they'll like walk around with the flag, and they have their translator describing everything. It's cute. It's endearing. They're tourists. You know how it goes. Oh, you're in Houston. Very cool. Foreigner just means not us. Waiguaren goes both ways. Yeah, they call us the Waiguaren, which means like outside of the country people. And it's like, but you're outside of the country people. You should translate Bill's first edition rock and roll rant into Chinese and amaze your friends. Bro, his first edition rock and roll rant, I want to memorize in English. It's so like accurate. It's so spot on. The Dynamo stink. Yeah, man. Get out of here. Oh, so you like Series A, the Italians. That's cool. You've been in Dallas for a while. Yeah. Each state needs a wall. Guys. Okay. Yeah. I feel like I have ranted enough about politics. I've ranted enough about how much I love Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. You guys have been amazing. Thanks for hanging out today. Hopefully the music wasn't too loud. I don't even know if you can hear it. Sometimes I put it low. Sometimes it's loud, and some people say they can't hear it sometimes. I feel bad about that. But once I upload it to YouTube, it like blasts your ear. So, yeah, give me some feedback on what you guys want to see from the channel, what you want to see from these live streams. I do apologize about not playing Shadowdark. It just didn't happen. But I think we're going to call it there. I'm going to go on a date with my wife and go out in the beautiful sunshine. It's getting a little colder now. Winter's here in Beijing. So, bundle up, stay warm, guys. Stay safe. And I'll catch you in the next one. All right.